I've been there spending a weekend hunting for a budget drone, only to end up with a clumsy little flyer that can't keep a steady shot and quits the moment the light dips. The regret sticks around longer than the cheap hardware, and it makes you wonder if you should just skip the whole thing. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The DJI Mavic 4 Pro Creator Combo tries to be the antidote to that disappointment, positioning itself as a smarter purchase that actually delivers on the promises you read in the specs. First off, the Mavic 4 Pro isn't a toy you pull out for a quick selfie video. It's built around a 100-megapixel Hasselblad sensor that can shoot 6K video at 60 frames per second and still produce a clean 8K still if you have the storage. That kind of resolution isn't just bragging rights, it changes how you work on location. Imagine you're a travel vlogger hopping from a sunrise over the Sahara to a night market in Bangkok. The high-resolution sensor gives you the flexibility to crop a distant dune without losing detail, and the 6K footage still looks cinema-grade when you edit down to 4K for YouTube. For creators who need that extra headroom, the extra pixels feel less like a gimmick and more like a safety net. One of the biggest worries for anyone stepping up from a beginner drone is autofocus. The older Mavic models sometimes hunted for focus in bright daylight, and that can ruin a smooth tracking shot. The Mavic 4 Pro's dual-tel lenses, combined with DJI's latest focusing algorithm, lock onto subjects with a confidence that feels almost reflexive. I tested it on a jogger through a park, and the camera kept the runner sharp even as he darted behind trees. The system didn't lag or flicker, which means you can trust it for dynamic sports or wildlife where you can't pause and refocus. Low-light performance is another area where cheaper drones stumble. The Nightscape omnidirectional obstacle sensors claim 0.1 lux sensitivity, and in practice that translates to decent stability when you're shooting at dusk or under streetlights. I tried a quick golden hour shoot over a city skyline, and the gimbal held the shot steady while the sensor captured enough light to keep the colors rich without pushing the ISO into noisy territory. The result was a smooth, cinematic fly-through that still looked usable after a quick color correction in post. If you're the type who likes to push the hourglass limit, this drone gives you a realistic chance to do it without a separate light kit. Stabilization on the Mavic 4 Pro is handled by a 360 infinity gimbal, which basically means the camera can rotate fully while staying level. In real-world use, that translates to those buttery-smooth pans you see in professional travel reels. I set the drone up on a moving boat to capture a coastal sunrise, and the footage stayed rock-solid despite the slight roll from the waves. For a creator who needs that kind of stability without a separate gimbal rig, the built-in system saves both weight and setup time. Battery confidence is often the silent deal-breaker. DJI advertises up to 51 minutes of flight time, and while you'll rarely hit that number in a perfect windless environment, the actual performance is impressive. On a typical day with a gentle breeze, I logged around 45 minutes before the drone signaled a return to home. The extra minutes add up, especially if you're filming a longer narrative piece and don't want to stop every 10 minutes to swap batteries. The remote controller, a 7-inch rotatable display, also shows real-time battery health, so you always know exactly how much juice you have left. The O4 Plus transmission system pushes a 30-kilometer video link, and while I never need that much range in an urban setting, the reliability of the feed is noticeable. Even when I flew near a construction site with lots of metal and interference, the video stream stayed crisp and the latency stayed low enough for precise manual control. That reliability matters if you're using the drone for a live broadcast or a multi-camera shoot where a dropped signal could ruin a take. Now, who should actually consider buying this combo? If you're a working creator, think documentary filmmaker, commercial videographer, or a high-level content creator who monetizes each view, the Mavic 4 Pro's sensor, stabilization, and battery life make it a viable primary aerial tool. The inclusion of the DJI RC Pro 2 remote, with its high-brightness screen, means you can preview footage on the go without tethering a phone, which speeds up on-site decision-making. For hobbyists who already own a decent camera and just want an occasional aerial shot, the price point might feel steep, especially if you're comfortable with a 4K sensor and a 30-minute flight window. And if you're an absolute beginner who's never touched a drone, the Mavic 4 Pro could be overkill. The learning curve around the advanced menu system, the dual camera toggling, and the custom flight modes can be intimidating without prior experience. Practical strengths, summed up, are the sensor resolution that future-proofs your footage, an autofocus system that actually works in motion, low-light capability that lets you shoot after sunset.